Hello and welcome to Men of the Den. My name is Eric and it's Friday. So this week on The Den, we are talking about bear media. I'm going to focus on movies that involve bears, but are not in English. So, it's a very small little subset of gay cinema. So, I'm gonna give you 5 titles, international titles, that I think that you will find interesting. First up, we have Cachorro. Cachorro is a Spanish movie about a man who is, part of the bear scene in, I think it's Madrid, and his sister, I believe, passes away, and he inherits his nephew, and this little boy is like 12 years old. Boy, right? Like, actual child. So, this creates all these weird complications because this guy is scenester, he goes out to raves, he goes out to sex clubs, and now he's raising a child. And so the whole thing kind of revolves around the relationship between this bear scenester guy and this kid, and it's a really sweet movie. And when you get to the explanation of why, when his sister passed away, that she said that this boy should live with her brother, that it all kind of makes sense in the end. So it's a super sweet movie. You should totally check it out, and it's called Cachorro. Next up, we have another Spanish language movie, but this one is actually from Mexico. It's called Cuatro Lunas, 4 Moons. You can find it on Netflix. I just watched it actually not that long ago. And 4 Moons is actually 4 separate stories. So there's a story of 2 young boys. They're both 12, 13 years old. There's a couple of stories about people that are kind of in their middle-aged years, and then there's the story of an older man and a hustler. And that's kind of the bear-focused component story of this particular film. But they're all kind of interwoven into each other in a really elaborate and beautiful kind of way, and it's just a sweet, sweet movie that kind of looks at the ups and downs of love. And the story with the older man is that he's an older man, he's married to a woman, and he's never really come out in his life, about his preferences. And so he meets this guy in the bathhouse, and they start to have a transactional relationship, and it turns into something more than that. And I think that it's really just a great little story, and all 4 of the stories together as a whole narrative are just really, really good, and I would strongly suggest that you check out Cuatro Lunas. The next movie is actually in multiple languages. It's called Je suis à toi, and it's from Belgium, and it's the story of an Argentinian hustler boy who kind of connives his way into the heart of a big, older chub daddy baker in Belgium, who flies him across the world on the expectation that they're going to have some kind of relationship. And it turns out that, this kid is just, a hustler, and he's looking to make some money. So it doesn't work out for them the way that they thought it would. And there's a lot of kind of ups and downs in this movie, and there's another relationship that kind of develops with the baker's daughter and the hustler, and it's kind of I have a mixed feeling to this film, but it's an interesting watch. And for those of you that are into big chubs, this is probably the chub-to-this movie that I think I've seen in a long time. And the little hustler boy is cute, but he's got some serious issues. So anyways, I would recommend you check that out. It's also on Netflix streaming. It's called Je suis à toi, or All Yours. Alright, this one's kind of on the border of actually being bear related, because it's in the 70s, everyone's covered in hair and beards and whatever. But this film is called Taxi zum Klo. It's a German film, and it takes place in the late 70s, early 80s, and it follows the life of this school teacher by day and, gay sex fiend by night. And when I was thinking about describing this movie, I was having a Stefan moment, like, this movie has everything. And it really does have everything. It's a fantastic, fantastic film, particularly if you're into, like, leather and fetish stories. So, yeah, it's got leather, it's got water sports, it's got full-on penetration scenes, it's got everything. It's also got a really good story. It's a tragic story, but it's a good story, and I would strongly suggest that you check it out. It's a classic. It's got kind of a cult following around it, too. So, again, if you're trying to get your gay history on, check out Taxi zum Klo. It's a German fetish film. And the last one that I have on here is really a disturbing film. It is not a love story. It is a psychological thriller, and it's called L'Inconnu du Lac. It's a French film about, the English title of that is Stranger by the Lake. Also streaming on Netflix, and I think on Amazon Prime. So Stranger by the Lake is a story that takes place at a gay, nude, cruising beach in France. And so this guy goes out to, go cruise it up, and he develops a relationship with, this really hot, super hung dude. Again, this is another one of those movies that has, like, some full-on sex scenes, like, straight up fucking, like, in the movie. So, be forewarned that this is, like, super, super, explicit. And, anyways, he witnesses a murder. And he doesn't really do anything about it because he's attracted to the murderer. And like I said, it's a psychological thriller. I don't want to give too much away. Stranger by the Lake, it's a super interesting film, and I would strongly, strongly recommend that you watch it with someone that you can discuss it with afterwards, and also so that you don't go, like, into shock from watching this movie, because it can be kind of shocking. So there you go. Top 5 non-English language movies that feature bears as kind of a plot point to the film. And all the descriptions for these movies are down in the crotch, along with links so that you can go out and get copies of these for yourself. And if you want to learn more about Bear Media, you can just go back through the history of this week and check it out. There's plenty of stuff to dive into there. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to our channel. You can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. And I will be back next Friday. And I will see you then. Cheers!